Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. So we are here at Road Atlanta in the pouring rain on board the magnificent Suzuki GSX-R 1000R endurance modified bike. And of course our first endurance race is going to be in the pouring rain on a track I am not too familiar with. I know it a little bit, but I'm not totally confident with it. I'm not totally comfortable. But this 40-minute endurance race will change my opinion, and I'm sure to get better and better as the laps continue. Not a bad start from 11th place on the grid. Started from the back of the grid, already made the one space up, as we have Yolanda ahead of us, waiting for the right moment to attack. A little bit of a voice crack there, I'm going to leave that in for you, have a bit of a laugh. And this 40-minute endurance Grand Prix is going to be absolutely awesome. I do love a good endurance race. I happen to make that suit myself to match the bike livery, so if you do like that, of course check it out on the PC version of Ride 4. My username is DrAce, of course, so if you want to add me on Steam, go ahead and kill two birds with one stone. I do hope you've had a magnificent day, because of course it is Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you enjoyed my little thank you video as well earlier, and me showing my gratitude to you wonderful people. As we're going to go round the outside of Jade Ride here. Beautifully done almost. Not quite as we go, but a contact. Now, if Jade Ride just let me get through, there wouldn't have been any contact. So I blame you. So for the very first time since this update came, update 1.08, I actually changed electronics for the very first time. And the only one thing I changed electronics is I did lift the anti-wheelie up to number 2. Just because for some reason the bike's wheelie even more now, as we're going to go for a bit of a lunge there on Felix Bishop. But Felix does hold us back pretty nicely. So good job from the Australian. We're going to now try and line him up around the outside. Can we make it stick? We certainly do. In the rain. That's ballsy, isn't it? Very brave. I'm impressed there. Next we have Suzanne Gobert. Seen her yesterday in the French Riviera. Going to be seeing her again. Soon to be going past her. So with this being an endurance race, of course, the dynamic weather is in effect as we make a beautiful move there in turn 8. And this track could dry at any point, or it could continue to get worse. We could get torrential rain. But so far, I'm actually really enjoying this track. Didn't think I would enjoy this track as much as I have been doing. But I do appreciate the suggestion from Zero. So here we are, doing the video that you requested. Of course, as always, if you do have any requests, let me know in the comment section down below. Best place to get my attention, and then I can do the content that you desire. So as this Christmas gift is well and truly packaged and delivered to Zero and to many, many more. Well guys, this is going to be video number 100 and bloody how many, 160, 117 in a row, and I really don't see them stopping. So if you haven't subscribed by now would be a great time to do so, because we have 36 minutes left of this Grand Prix. And I want to continue to entertain and want to continue to grow into next year. Hopefully a better 2021. I'm sure 2021 will deliver some fantastic results for us all. 2020, not much great things happened there. For me, I had actually a good year. MotoGP was terrific. World Superbike was awesome. And, well, my YouTube did pretty nicely since I started doing a lot more YouTube videos. So for that, I thank you. But of course, we did have the pandemic, which has been an absolute disaster. We had Ride 4, which was amazing. MotoGP 20, which was also really good. I met some great people. Had a chat with many fine people in the comment section below. But we also had the update, as we make a fantastic move there on Frank Jordan. He's not happy about that one, but he has to succumb to DrAce's attack. But we did have the negative update that ruined the physics on Ride 4, which is a boo moment. But still, I think Milestone are working on that to improve. Just improve the AI, that's all we ask for next, I think. Give us a little bit more difficulty in the sense of riders that actually want to battle a bit more. And please remove the idea of just making going just even a little bit near the other riders where they just pick it up and then just ride straight off the track. That needs to go. But anyway, off onto a tangent, back into business. We are closing down on Muramoto. We thought about a lunge there. There's quite a few times I thought I could get through in that part, but it's not the cleanest of spots to overtake, so it's probably not wise to go for that lunge all the time. Same as here as well, as get very close to the back of the Japanese rider. Always probing for an opportunity to attack. Don't think Johan Nielsen's going to get away. And I don't think there's really any rush to get through on either of these guys, because we have such a long time left in this long Grand Prix. So in the slipstream of Muramoto now, what can we do here? We're going to bounce out of the slipstream in a moment and try and go around the outside, or potentially on the inside. We're going to go around the outside, or at least have a little bit of a think about it. We are relatively close enough, and that move is certainly in our arsenal. We've done it before, and we will do it again. Because I do love a good move around the outside as we aggressively attack Muramoto, but he's still hanging in there. The number 15 on the other Suzuki, I believe. We do hold him back, and we are now into second place and be chasing down Mr. Nielsen. All on the rain tyres, of course, because, well, it'd be impossible to use slicks. Of course, we have had that issue before in the video I did when it was in Laguna Seca on the BMW S1000RR. Another terrific bike to add to the list. I had thought about doing a top 10, top 5 list, depending on how many bikes I choose in the end. I'm probably still going to go ahead and do that video because I think it's quite exciting. Because I think we can have a bloody good discussion as we make a bloody good lunge there upon Johan Nielsen. It's going to run a little bit too deep there. Very wisely picked the bike up and just allowed him to get through again. Too eager on the brakes there. I mean, it was possible, and it certainly was probable that we did it, but it's probably not wise that we do that again. Unless the track is, of course, dry. But I do want to see, going back to my previous point, what you think about the top 10 bikes, etc. And of course we can discuss it and have a bloody good chinwag to see which is deserving of a top 10 spot and the bikes that aren't deserving of a top 10 spot. So we are now in the lead. It didn't take too long to get to the front. 5 laps. Pretty nicely as we conclude the 6th lap. We start the 6th lap now, as we were 46,000 of a second faster than our previous lap time. So looking at the fuel, we are ahead. We are on 71% fuel, while the rest of the guys seem to be on 65% or less. So we don't really need to concern ourselves about fuel, but of course with these endurance races you do have to think about it, put it into the back of your mind and sort of have a good old gander of what you can do in the future for these in regards to the future laps. So of course I've seen a lot in the comment sections, not in mine but in more so like Facebook and social media sites, a lot of people asking for endurance online, and I say that would be a fantastic idea. I don't know if many people would leave though, so if you're doing a 40-minute endurance I can imagine a lot of people leaving if they get too far behind, but I could see a lot of potential for some online races there. I still haven't really raced online since my video, or since the last time I played with Fuchs. Of course I have been added by a couple of you guys in the comment section, so I appreciate that. And we will get round to playing Ride 4 at some point, either MotoGP 20 or even MXGP 20. Also, I still need to get your guys' feedback on MXGP 2020. Do we want to see more gameplay of MXGP 2020, or are we okay with smashing Ride 4 again? I mean, most of the cups I've done on Ride 4 now, apart from the Superbike League and the Endurance League, but I'm sure that'll come sooner or later, because I'm only about 8 trophies away now. 8 cups, I think they're called, but yeah, trophies, cups, you know what I mean. About 7 or 8 left. Got all the test riders to do next. The MV Augusta test rider, Kawasaki test rider, Ducati test rider. Because of course, Milestone have changed the parameters for the model affinity. It used to be 5, now it's only 4. So if you get the, well, excuse me, it's not the model affinity, it's the manufacturer affinity. So if you get the manufacturer affinity up to level 5, you would be eligible to test for the bikes, which I did with the Yamaha and the Honda. But now it seems to be it's only on 4. So you only have to get the manufacturability affinity up to 4. I guess that's good, because it means we get through a bit quicker and we get to do the stuff that we want to do quicker. But at the same time, I was quite alright with it being level 5, because I was using bikes I wouldn't usually use. Especially in the sense of some MV Augustas and maybe some... Oh, is it running wide there? Very smart to just go onto the grass there without trying to accrue a penalty. Smart stuff there. But I do find them. Oh, I'm gonna go on the grass again. Still finding my rhythm on this track. And we did pick up penalty time. I have absolutely no idea why I received a penalty for that. Now, I clearly let two riders get past me there, and I still picked up a whopping 2.5 tenths penalty. Don't think that's fair, but hey ho, I don't make the rules. It is what it is. And now we have another bit of a race on our hands with Muramoto and Nielsen quickly taking advantage of what they could. Don't blame them for that. It's how you race. It's exactly what you should be doing. That's exactly what they did. So a little bit wide there. You see, I come off the throttle just a bit there as well, just to not go on to the off-track part, because I think they will hand you a nice fat penalty for going off there too many times. Or at least, oh, what a lunge this is going to be in turn 8. Nicely done. Tell you what, past DrAce is pretty good at making lunges during the night. As always, I usually record during the night and then do the voiceovers afterwards. I have quite a lot of videos now to do voiceovers for. I don't think I'll ever be out of content, so that is good to know for you guys. And it's also good to know for me, because I've always got stuff to do. I absolutely love making content, as you know. Doing my voiceovers, etc. Now, I didn't really go into too much detail with all the in the thank you video. I had planned on maybe thinking of going way into detail about what started me on YouTube, etc. But I wasn't sure if you guys were really that bothered. At the end of the day, you guys are trying to enjoy your Christmas dinner with Granny, and it's not possible because some British fella's chatting in your ear about how he's grateful for 500 subscribers. I'm assuming you had dinner with Granny. Of course, in the lockdown, Gran and Grandad can't seem to come over. It sucks. I usually go over to my grandparents with my mother. That's not happening this year. But, well, actually, at this point in this video, I guess I've already uploaded it, so future self is going to say... I probably didn't. Yeah, future self says, past Matt, we did not. Past DrAce, we did not. So, Johan Nielsen still in the lead. Don't know how long for, because DrAce is still approaching very, very fast. Rocking the Dainese leathers. Of course, one of my favourite helmets I've made. Definitely going to be making another helmet soon because I've got the bug again. I'll tell you what, definitely thought about having a lunge there, going around the outside, but it's not necessary yet, as the rain has in fact stopped raining. The precipitation has stopped coming. As we make a bloody brilliant move there. I tell you what, we have to have a lot of confidence in that downhill stretch. You gain a lot of speed and it's very bumpy. The change of direction can really kick you off sometimes. Quick note on the side as well, the lights have actually come on. I didn't notice if they were on already. I don't believe they were. But it's good to see that update is working alright. As we now come down to the downhill section. So we flick it left for turn 5. And then a little bit of turns and kinks. It's a nice track this. It's very windy. Windy with inundation. Windy with undulation is what I like. So I'm happy with that one. Very happy. As I just noticed number 12 at the back of the grid there. Not exactly sure what's happened to him. He must have had a bad start. Or he crashed, or he's out of fuel already. I'm not sure. We'll probably find out as we cross the line. As we are extending our 9/10 of a second gap up to 1 second now. Not quite just there yet. As we then brake very, very hard for the left-hander for turn 11. And then we'll flick it right for turn 12. Beautifully done. Be careful not to use too much acceleration there, because it is easy to throw the rear out a little bit too much and cause yourself to fall. As that is lap 10 complete. And I'll tell you what, Takeru Muramoto has already pitted. Is this going to be a bit of a smart... Oh! A little bit too eager there. And yet again we go on the grass. But is Muramoto up to something no good here? Now it's 25 minutes left from this Grand Prix, and he has decided to pit. Now I can't imagine his tyres and fuel being that much depleted compared to everyone else's, but he has decided to go for a brave move and pit early. Usually I'm one of the last people to pit. I don't usually like to set the precedent for pitting. I'm also the sheep for the pitting. I do appreciate everyone has their own style. Everyone wants to go different tactics. Last time I really paid attention to sort of pitting was on like Gran Turismo Sport Online, where online races were quite a gamble. Oh, and even F1 when I used to play that. I don't really play that anymore, unfortunately. And of course now I understand that EA have bought out Codemasters. So I'm not sure what the franchise is going to be looking like for F1 and what the future is going to be holding for them, but I do feel for Milestone sometimes and think that maybe EA or 2K or someone like that will end up buying out Milestone and we're going to be stuck with some god-awful company making video games for bikes. Because let's be honest, I mean, Milestone is, as many mistakes they make, they do deliver a good game. You know, I love making these content videos because I also enjoy the game very much. So it's a win-win. I know they do have their mistakes, they do have their problems, but they do give 110% to making the games. So I'll always be grateful for that. But I'm still not happy about the update, but they've relatively tried to fix it, so I guess we can't be too harsh on them for that. I mean, we are in a pandemic, so they are still trying to do content at home, etc., and trying to edit and make everything properly. So I appreciate they're probably trying to bug fix in their own place. So you know, it is what it is. Well, just a note as well, this track appears to be drying. I don't think it's dry enough yet to go on slicks. So if anyone's been brave enough to jump on the slicks, then I commend you. That is bloody brave. As we use a lot of rear brake there because I feel like I was going to run it a little bit too deep. But in actuality, we did pretty well there. And the lights have now come up on the Suzuki. So, update successful for Ride 4. Impressed. Call me and colour me impressed. As we cross the line, we actually lost 73,000 per second. There's still no one on the rain tyre as of yet, but Chu Wei, the Chineseman, has just decided to pit as well. Is he going to surprise us with a slick tyre? As we a little bit slidey there into those corners, into turn 2. We will probably consider swapping to the slicks very soon. But as you can see, the tyres are getting warmer and warmer all the time. And that's usually because this track is drying and the track is getting hotter. And of course the tyre is just basically being burned up because it cannot grip. Or it's gripping too much. We now approach the very tight right-hander of turn 8. Really nice corner. I like to get that one right. Because if you get that one right, this whole acceleration part to turn 9 is just beautiful. If you don't get it right, like we didn't really get it perfect there. We did lose quite a bit of the entry speed and exit speed. As, we're going to have to definitely consider pitting sooner or later. It's getting to that point now in the race. But the difficulty still is, do we gamble the slick tyres yet? Is it up to that stage where we can do that? I'm still not convinced yet, so we're going to continue on. Still 22 minutes remaining of this session, of this Grand Prix. As we didn't improve the lap again. Still no one on the soft tyres, but Frank Jordan, the American, has decided to pit. Is he going to be the guinea pig? Is he going to test the tyres on the slicks? Or is he going to stay on the reins? We'll find out. I guess Suzanne Gobert is on 10% of fuel, so you bet that she'll be in the pit stop next. I mean, she still hasn't been, though. She's passed the finish line and decided not to pit yet. As we are actually closing in on some back markers here. 11th and 12th, respectively, are still getting close. They're still not that far ahead on the track. They're still roughly on turn 9, as we are on turn 7. Of course, ignoring the low fuel mode pop up in the bottom right hand corner. We don't need to consider ourselves too much about the fuel. It's more so the tyres we're worried about now. Maybe not worried, but just tentative of. Let's say tentative. Cautious of. But we are losing time. It's something we're going to have to consider, but I still don't see anyone on the slicks yet. Are we going to be brave enough to jump on the slicks? Is it going to rain again? I mean, the clouds look ominous, but it's also getting darker. So the track will eventually get colder. Quite a lot of questions and not enough answers, I would say. 4% of fuel now for Suzanne Gobert. You better believe she's getting in the pits on this lap. If she doesn't, then bloody hell. Still not seeing any soft or medium tyres, so no slicks as of yet. So I am not going to make that jump yet. I don't want to be the first person to make that jump. It looks to me that it's dry enough that we could possibly do it. Suzanne has actually gone in the pits now. Maybe she will be the first person to jump on the slicks. And if she does jump on the slicks, how much of an advantage will it be? She's obviously losing a lot of time by pitting there, as we make a big mistake there. Have to be very careful in turn 6 sometimes, and that wasn't careful. That was a bit reckless, I would say. So we enter turn 7. Richard Trusoldi, Yolanda Ventura Cavallo in third, the Brazilian. Now these guys are on 15 and 14% of fuel respectively. We are on 19%, so we are not looking too bad. Haven't changed the fuel setting, we haven't increased it or reduced it. Still full power mode. Well, middle power mode, standard power mode. Let's see what lap times we get if we get full later on. Braking into the wonderful turn 11. Looking right for turn 12. And as you can see, that track is pretty much bone dry now. Or at least, it looks to me that it's dry. I mean, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think, at this point, would you have already swapped to the slicks? Would you continue waiting a little bit longer? Because, I mean, the rain tyres still seem to be doing fine. We are losing quite a lot compared to the best laps of the race, but nobody else is on the slicks. So there's not really a gamble there. I mean, we're leading this Grand Prix by 25 seconds now. Well, 24. Soon to be 25, I'm sure, as Richard Trusoldi has finally pitted. He seems to be the last of the low fuelers. But he is in second, and I tell you what, he might actually retain second place there. Even when he comes out of the pit. In fact, he's disappeared off the map. I think that's because he's gone into the pit. But he is still in the pit, and we haven't even calculated. Let's make a massive mistake here with the turn 7. A little bit out of shape there as we were up by 43 seconds. So I guess whether we made the mistake or not doesn't really matter. There's 8% of fuel for the Brazilian in third place. Still haven't seen... I still haven't seen Richard Trusoldi come out of the pits yet. Is he still in there? Chilling? As we are closing on the person in last place here. Are we going to line him up and possibly get through on the back markers? Not close enough yet, of course. But still thinking about going onto the slicks, and I haven't quite decided yet. I mean, at this point, we are leading by such a large margin, it wouldn't really matter. I'm sure we could probably pit and it wouldn't even affect us. I tell you what, Richard Trusoldi's on medium and soft. Richard Trusoldi, medium front, soft rear. He has made the gamble. Is it time for us to make that same gamble? We have a lot of thinking to do here. A lot of questions still remain answered. Still remain unanswered, should I say. And we are waiting for the right opportunity. As we go onto the rumble strip again, they've got to avoid that rumble strip when attacking. One little movement or a little bit of a flick or a twitch, and that's it, you're going down into the kitty litter. So, big moment there as well on the brakes. Might have to consider jumping on the slicks myself here. 13% on the rear tyre, 37% on the front. So the degradation's about what I would expect after 17 laps. I could still continue on this tyre with no problem at all, but the fuel is at 10%. So I think that, yes, I think this question is going to be answered for ourselves. And that is going to be, we might need to pit. We have to refuel soon, regardless, because this will not last another 16 minutes. As we now come under the little bit of a bridge, and we are still not pitting. We're going to go for another lap. Why not? Let's see the best lap I can do now with the rain tyres on this track. It looks pretty bone dry to me. We lost a second there. Now Yolanda has gone into the pits, so potentially she is going to go for the medium or soft, maybe full softs. But with the full softs, will that then last 16 minutes? Again, questions remain unanswered. So still absolutely loving this track now. It feels very consistent, really enjoying it now. But I was still a little bit unsure. I don't think I can get like world record pace or anything like that on it, but after all the many laps, constantly feeling better, constantly feeling more in tune with it. And I tell you what, this Suzuki GSX-R 1000R is absolutely brilliant. I don't know how much I paid for it in the credits, but I love it. I'm really, really impressed with it, and I'll be using this more often, I think. But again, it's it's a case now of there's so many great bikes, but just not enough time and not enough tracks to use them on. Because I really don't want to use all the bikes. It's so good. Well, unfortunately, not. We can't have everything our own way, it seems. So, of course, we're leading this Grand Prix by a whopping 42 seconds. I think it's about time we pit. It wouldn't be wise to continue again, so clutch in. And slowly, gradually glide into the pits. Where the autopilot takes over. So that is pit stop complete. Looks like Muramoto is going to join us in the pit, or at least join us as we leave the pit, because we are way ahead of him, and he was our second. He was the guy in second place. He was our only contention. But Johan Nielsen now, he's not that far behind. That pit stop has certainly put us all sort of together. Kind of warm these tyres up now. The feeling of being on soft medium rubber compared to the rain tyres that we were on. So we do have two riders behind us, both on the rain tyres, so it's nothing really to worry about now. It's all about opening the throttle and getting some fast laps in. Not too fast, we don't go too crazy on it. As you can see down the bottom there, we did have two for the anti-wheelie. That's the only thing I've changed. I will change the power when I get the chance. It's difficult to change the power setting in the corners. Have to wait for the straight. And now we can change it. Or maybe I did not actually. I'm pretty certain I did change the power. At least I intended to. So I wanted to go for the fastest one because we've got 13 minutes remaining. Might as well try and put as many fast laps as possible. But perhaps I was just trying to warm the tyres up first. But I can't say Zero had a great recommendation here to do the endurance mode on Atlanta. On Road Atlanta, should I say. I'm quite impressed with this track. I would like to continue to do this. Maybe I'll have to continue with the time trials here and potentially go for some world record pace. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I would love to have a go nonetheless. I can't believe there's still many riders there on rain tyres. Johan Nielsen's still on rain tyres, and I'm not sure why. It certainly looks dry enough for me. I think it looks dry enough for the majority of us here as well. Well, that AI did not get the memo. Now, of course, obviously, all this can change if the rain comes down. If this starts raining again, then Johan Nielsen and Chiu Wei would have been in prime position there for a wet race if it continued to rain. But unfortunately for him, he has dived into the pits. And Johan Nielsen still in second place on the rain tyres. He is probably praying, probably doing a rain dance right now on board his bike. Just wishing and praying and hoping that the rain would eventually bucket it down so he can take advantage of the rain tyres. But at this point, surely his rain tyres are going to be absolutely knackered regardless anyway. So, I mean, our rain tyres were just foobarred at that point. As you can see, braking a lot nicely now into turn 12. Well, turn 11 just before turn 12. Oh, careful on the acceleration there, almost lost the rear. As you can see, I think it's go time, isn't it? That's our fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:22.017, a bloody good lap, considering it's our second lap on the slick tyres. Bit of a blind corner this one, you have to be very careful. Better to be going slower than it is quicker. Just to make sure you actually get the corner right. Because you don't want to be crashing it. No, 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 certainly we don't. We do not. So we now flick it left for turn 6. Beautifully done so far. Finally remembered to change the fuel back over to the tyres. As we up by a massive 5.5 tenths of a second. Brilliant stuff with just 11 minutes left of this session. Rear tyre has taken a hounding already though. 71%. And it's glowing yellowy green, so it means it's getting very, very hot. Absolutely ragged the hell out of this one. But Johan Nielsen still in second place. He's going to be there for quite a while. Third and fourth place are in a battle of their own in about turn 4. Maybe that's about turn 6 actually. And he is in turn 9. So I don't think he's going to get anywhere near that. He's going to hold on to this position if he can just keep those tyres. If he decides to pit, then I don't think he's going to get on the podium. Well, perhaps he is quite far ahead of the guys in third and fourth, as we do increase our fastest lap of the race. We're now a 1:21.541. As now everyone except Johan Nielsen is on the slicks. And we are now approaching the back markers. Johan Nielsen could pull off an absolute genius move here if he can stay if he can just stay in second place. We actually now are in 11th place because somebody pitted. Something I actually didn't see at the time. So if we do catch any of the back markers, they are effectively 11th and 10th. And I don't see any blue flags present on this game, and I'm not sure why. I think blue flags should always be present, but I certainly don't see anyone waving. I see some Scottish flags there, so shout out to any Scottish viewers. But I don't see any blue flags. Maybe it's a bit early yet anyway, but they should be warning them that a very fast DrAce is coming. As we're up by 15 seconds to our nearest competitor, who's on the rain tyres. So we don't need to worry about them too much. So Johan Nielsen is on 30% of fuel now. I think he's going to be able to last the rest of this Grand Prix, but I guarantee the AI makes him pit. He's the only one on rain tyres, and he's still hanging in there. Jaden River at the back of the grid. He has not had the Grand Prix I would have expected from a man of his talents, because we have battled with him many a times in these Grand Prix. So we now have the man in 11th and 12th. This might be Jaden River actually. Or is Jaden River dead last? I've already forgotten. As we close in on Yolanda Venturo Cavallo, the Brazilian. Seen her earlier on, as we are now up by a 10th and a half. Another brilliant sector for us there. As we hold it right for turn 7 at 2200 hours. As we make a beautiful move up on the back marker. Excellently done. Didn't care to let me get through. I just had to barge my way through myself. Not a problem. Using the speed of the Suzuki and using its superior handling, we're still up by a 10th and a half, even though we had to make that audacious lunge just a moment ago. Now Jade Wright is in our way. She held me up earlier on in this lap, in this exact same corner. Well, not this time. I'm sure we're going to make short work of her. No, she's still in the way. We will eventually get through. Might lose our fastest lap here. Might not be as quick as we go around the outside. Brilliantly done. And we still improved by 4 tenths. 1:21.134 is the best lap of the race so far. We are 20 seconds adrift from any nearest competitor. And we will continue to push and potentially get 9th place. We have a lot of time, and a lot of skill, and a lot of talent. So we'll just continue absolutely thrashing it. Really, really impressed with this track. It just came to me more and more naturally as the race continued. Really impressed with this one. I think there's still quite a lot of tracks we haven't done endurance races on, so hopefully we can do some more. At least try and get one endurance race a week done, I guess. Something like that. But of course it takes a long time to put it all together on this one. To do the race, do the voiceovers, and to edit it all together. It does take quite a while, but honestly, they're just so good. It's just nice to chill out and commentate on a full race with a bit of interesting conversation in between, and some strange, bizarre commentary from myself that I'm pretty sure you've grown accustomed to by now. So the question is, Johan Nielsen is under 20% of fuel for the very first time in this session, and I don't think he can last for 6 more minutes. I mean, he should if he's got good time management, well, good fuel management, but I'm not sure. I have a feeling they're going to make him pit. But he is so far behind and so far ahead at the same time, he should be fine. He should have second. He has pitted. He's pitted. I don't think he's going to hold on to second place. Richard Tresoldi's coming quite quick, actually. And if you remember, Richard Tresoldi was the very first person to go in the pit. go into the pit and change the tyres, that is, as we are up by almost 0.5 of a second. This is going to be another brilliant lap, a potential 120 lap. You knew it was coming sooner or later. Tresoldi has in fact got through on Johan Nielsen, and so has Muramoto. So Nielsen's excellent streak will be coming to an end. He ran in second place for quite a long time, but unfortunately for him it's just not going to happen. But wow, almost 0.9 of a second we go quicker on this fastest lap as we make a lunge and a half on Suzanne Gobert. She did not see that coming. I don't think you did either. But now you did. But now you've seen it. Greatness personified as we wrestle this Suzuki around turn 14. Brilliant stuff. And we actually made this lap a whopping 1 second clear. We didn't get into the 120s, we got into the 119s. Bloody hell. We absolutely thrashed the Suzuki around here. And I don't think it's going to stop there. We're just going to continue going until we cannot go much further than that. The tyre is glowing yellow, it's pretty stressed. And we're just going to continue to push it as much as we can until the rear tyre cries no more. The rear tyre is it's screaming. Oh, it's screaming, but we are so determined and we want to keep these fast laps going. I'll just keep on going. Now you see this in MotoGP and World Superbike a lot, where a rider's leading for so long and you see the pit crew telling him to slow down. Personally for me, I say just leave him to it. When you're conscious about your speed and you start thinking maybe I'm going a bit too quick, then you decide, you know what, maybe I'll just slow it down a bit, and then you end up crashing because you overthink it. So I did actually just bump up the power mode there, so we are now running in power mode opposed to standard or eco. So now I guess it's going to be another attempt at getting the fastest lap. Probably a 118. Might be a little bit too outreach, but let's say a 119.4. I think we could probably steal another 0.5 of a second somewhere along the line. Perhaps not with these tyres, but with the power mode on, we might get close enough. We do have 3 back markers ahead of us here as well, so ooh, big moment there. And there is Johan Nielsen actually. He is that far down from pitting. That's insane. He must have fueled right up to 100% then. Surely not, because he clearly didn't need to. As we, oh, the rear tyre cried no more. I was trying to get a good glimpse of Nielsen there, but bloody hell. The rear tyre screamed and screamed and screamed, and it just couldn't scream anymore. It just died. So disappointed to crash there. I absolutely hate crashing in this game because I just worry about those poor bikes getting damaged. But thankfully we did hold on to survive, and the bike seemed to be okay. Not a bad crash in the sense of damage. I'm guessing would have only damaged it a little bit if this game had damage. But we did not capture on those back markers. I think they were all the way up to 4th place, those back markers as well. So the top 4 would be the only finishes. Oh, and another crash! Oh, the rear tyre. Enough's enough. At 44 seconds, let's put the power mode back down to standard. 2 crashes in quick succession there. Big mistake. With 1.5 minutes remaining of this session, heads in hands, making a little bit too many mistakes. And now I guess we'll just have to cruise over the finish line after a few more corners. As you can see, the rear tyre is not happy now. It flicked out again. The temperature's down to 14 degrees, and oh my goodness, are they? Oh my goodness, are those rain spots? Oh bloody hell, that is rain. That is definitely rain. We're going to have to start being very careful. We do not want to start crashing again. It's way down by 1.4 seconds. Not really bothered. But the question is now, we're going to have to go another lap, surely. There's almost 60 seconds now. Oh, big moment there. We almost lost it again. We are that far ahead, though. We could compromise 20 seconds here to try and make sure this is the last lap. We could try and make sure that lap 29 is the end of this Grand Prix. As you can see, the bike is just sliding on the tyres now. It's sliding on the rain. The tyres are not happy. Going to go onto the gravel here just to slow us down a bit. Not feeling happy at all about this. Putting the clutch in. Slowly trying to work our way around. Oh, huge moment. As DrAce going into the pits for some strange reason. Interesting decision. But there's 15 seconds remaining. 10 seconds remaining. I'm going to have to go for another lap at this rate. I don't know why I just didn't hold on a little bit longer. But now everyone's going into the pits to change the rear. Oh my goodness, they've all changed to the rain tyres. Muramoto, Trizoldi, they're not even close to the pits yet. They're surely not going to pit. Not on the final lap. I mean, look how slow DrAce is going now. We are taking it very, very steady here. You could probably go a lot quicker than this, but I just didn't want to chance it. It's been 40 odd minutes of me recording. I just wanted to finish this one in style. Trizoldi and Muramoto pitted. They pitted. Why? So what if we're 7 seconds slower? Everyone will be 7 seconds slower. There's, oh, another moment there as well as I felt the bike twitch. I'm running it too deep now into turn 8. Real hearts in mouth stuff here. Is Johan Nielsen right behind us. He's on the rain tyres now, I believe. So he should be much quicker than we are. Or did he not change them? No, I'm sure he dived into the pit. He was one of the first to do it again. Let Johan Nielsen get through. Look how much quicker he is, though. He is just thrashing it on those rain tyres. He's happy again. But here we go towards the final 2 turns. We've done the chicane. Now one more corner to go. And guys, that has been another successful endurance race. We are up by a whopping 1.5 minutes. So guys, this has been another DrAce victory. Have a wheelie. Thanks for watching as always, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you managed to stay here that long, then God bless you. You're absolutely awesome. But upon that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you next time. Ciao for now.